Have you ever stopped to think about what really holds relationships together? In your family or maybe your community, even at work? What makes those connections strong?
Yeah, it's a fundamental question, isn't it? Like, is there some kind of blueprint for building real trust, genuine influence, lasting respect?
Exactly. And what if that blueprint was, well, ancient wisdom?
Well, funny you should ask, because today we're doing a deep dive into exactly that. We're looking at this really fascinating concept from the Pali Canon, specifically through its Thai translation, Sangahavatthu.
Sangahavatthu. Okay, sounds interesting. So what is it exactly, and what are we hoping to uncover today?
Right. So Sangahavatthu, it isn't just a word, it's really a whole framework. The translation is something like the matter of aiding or providing support to each other.
Ah, reciprocal support. Giving and receiving.
Precisely.
Yeah.
And our sources suggest this isn't just a nice idea, it actually shapes our world.
Hmm.
So our mission, really, is to unpack the four core virtues within Sangahavatthu. We want to understand what they really mean, their implications, and maybe see how you could use them to transform your own interactions, your life, really. Doesn't matter who you are.
And why these principles were seen as so crucial, right, for becoming wise, gaining respect.
Exactly. It's about building a better self, which in turn kind of builds a better world around you.
Okay, let's get into it. So the core idea, object of reciprocal support, and you mentioned it's universal.
Yeah, that's what's really striking. The texts are clear.
Mhm.
Whether you're a layperson, an ascetic, an upasaka that's a male follower, or an upasika, a female follower.
Right.
At home, in a monastery, it applies. Everyone should be supporting each other. It's not some exclusive club.
Got it. And there's a metaphor used, something about a vehicle.
Yes, it's a great one. The Pali text compares these virtues to a wedge, like, the restraining wedges in an old cart or wagon.
Ah, okay. To keep it from falling apart.
Exactly. To keep it running smoothly, stop it rattling itself to pieces. Just like those wedges, Sangahavatthu is what keeps society, families, relationships functional, intact.
It's like the essential glue, then. Or maybe the bolts holding the structure together.
Yeah, something like that. The structural necessity for things to work properly.
I like that. Makes it very tangible. So if Sanghavatha is the foundation, what are these four pillars holding it up?
Okay, pillar number one is dana. Simple translation. Generosity.
Yeah.
Giving. The Pali term is tanaka, just the act of giving.
Right. And the sources draw a line here, don't they, between how, let's say, wise people see giving versus others.
They do. It highlights a really key mindset difference.
Yeah.
The wise, according to these texts, see giving as a way to actually gain more. It's like an investment.
Okay.
Whereas the text calls them foolish, they just see it as a loss, a
Yep.
waste of resources. So right away, it frames generosity very strategically.
Interesting. So it's not just that you give, but maybe the mindset behind it. And then there's this distinction between narrow and wide giving. What's that about?
Yeah, that's important. Narrow giving is, limited just to yourself, your immediate family, husband, wife, kids. That kind of giving gets you respect, sure, but only within that small circle.
Okay. Makes sense.
But wide giving, that's extending generosity out
Yeah.
to the broader community. And that, the text says, yields tremendous benefit, widespread respect. It likens it to the kind of respect you'd give your own parents.
Wow. So the Buddhist perspective definitely favors the wider approach.
Strongly advises it, yeah.
Right.
Even though narrow giving isn't, bad,
Yeah.
its impact is just seen as much, much smaller.
So practically speaking, what does this wise giving actually achieve beyond just respect?
Well, it's presented as really essential for influence, for authority even. The idea is if you're known for wise generosity, things get done. People help you, sometimes without you even having to ask. But there's a big but. It has to be wise giving. The source warns that unwise generosity, just throwing resources away, can actually lead to poverty. So discernment is key.
Right, right. And there was something really unusual mentioned in the source, that giving can only happen in human form.
Yes. Isn't that fascinating? According to this view, you can't practice dana in the higher heavenly realms, nor in the lower realms like animals or ghosts. It's presented as this unique, precious opportunity we have right now as humans.
That really elevates its importance, doesn't it?
It does. And the results, they're described as pretty significant. Becoming wealthy, well-known, influential, even potentially reaching the status of a great emperor or leader, at least for a time. Basically, a respected person with resources and followers.
And there was that story, the example of the chief alms donor.
Ah, yes. She wasn't rich to start with, not at all. But she made it her practice to, like, collect little things, floating bubbles, bits of wood, sell them, and use that money to offer alms to monks every year.
Wow, that's dedication from very little.
Exactly. And the point is, because of her consistent practice, her finances just flowed more easily. It directly links her eventual resources back to this practice of Sangahavatthu, specifically dana. It's a really powerful illustration.
Okay, that covers Dina. What's the second pillar?
The second pillar shifts focus to our words. It's Peyyavajja, kindly speech. The term Peyyavajja means gentle, kind, but also useful speech.
Useful, so it's more than just being nice or polite.
Definitely. It's about effectiveness, constructiveness. The source says kindly speech has this magnetic quality. It fascinates people, draws them in, makes them want to associate with you. It calls it a major involvement.
A major involvement. Interesting phrase. What about the long-term effects if you practice this consistently?
Well, beyond just building rapport now, the idea is that your words gain real power over time. They become mighty and effective. You find more success in what you try to achieve through communication.
And the flip side, rough speech.
Rough speech is seen as totally self-defeating. It harms yourself, makes your words powerless, leads to failure. You basically undermine your own influence.
So words really matter here, and there was a historical example given, something about the Buddha's relics.
Yes, a really dramatic one. After the Buddha's passing, his parinibbana, these different city-states, 6, maybe 7 or 8, the accounts very slightly were apparently about to go to war over who got the relics.
Wow, okay. High stakes.
Extremely volatile. But then this figure, the Dona Brahmin, steps in. And because he'd cultivated this kindly, effective speech over time, his words had immense power. He used diplomacy, skillful language.
And he managed to calm things down.
Successfully, he resolved the conflict and ensured the relics were divided fairly.
Mhm.
It's presented as a direct result of his mastery of Peyyavajja. His words carried weight.
That's incredible, but then there's a nuance, isn't there? Kindly speech isn't always soft.
Exactly. This is really key. The text clarifies it can include instructive blaming.
Instructive blaming, like what?
Like a parent firmly telling off a child to stop them doing something harmful. The intention is crucial. Is it meant to guide the person towards something beneficial? If so, even if the words are stern, it can still count as Peyyavajja.
Ah, so the focus is really on the utility, the benefit, not just the tone.
Precisely. Which leads to the advice. Avoid useless chatter. Nonsense, worthless talk, thoughtless speech. It just defeats your own purpose, undermines your own arguments. Be constructive.
Makes sense. From words to actions, then. What's pillar number 3?
Number 3 is Attacariya. This translates to useful conduct. Contributing to the highest utility through your actions, providing that reciprocal support physically, as it were.
So this is about what you do, how you behave.
Yes, it's about being a living example, behaving in ways that serve as a good model for others, physically and verbally. It even includes correcting behavior your own or others if it's potentially harmful, leading by doing.
Can you give some examples from the source? How does this look in practice?
Sure, they give quite diverse ones, like farmers working diligently for a good harvest, creating happiness, or planters who share their bounty with neighbors, acting as role models in the community.
Right.
Even business people acting in ways that benefit their fellow merchants, the whole group. It's about your actions contributing positively to the collective.
And it connects to self-improvement too, right?
Definitely. Cultivating yourself, striving to be pure from any blemish, that's part of Attacariya. Becoming a good monk or novice or upasaka, living up to your role properly, is useful conduct. It's internal and external.
And there was another analogy here, something about a mold.
Yes, another really visual one, the moles analogy. They use the example of a craftsman making a chofa, those ornate decorative things on Thai temple roofs.
Yeah, I know what you mean.
So just like the craftsman uses a perfect model or mold to create a beautiful, flawless chofa, we should strive to be like a noble living reference book.
A noble living reference book. I like that.
Yeah. Serving as a positive pattern, a blueprint that others can look to and follow for beneficial behavior.
That's a high standard, but a powerful image. Okay, that leads us to the fourth and final pillar.
The fourth is Samanattata. This one's about consistency, equanimity, maintaining an even nature in how you act.
Consistency. So not just doing the right things sometimes, but steadily.
Exactly. It means consistently sticking to your precepts, your chosen role, monk, novice, lay follower, whatever it is, being true to your path day in, day out, not just when you feel like it.
And how does this consistency play out in, say, group situations?
It helps you get along well with others. If you're consistent, predictable in a good way, you don't cause friction or disruption. The example given is a monk whose even conduct helps maintain harmony within the monastery.
So stability, reliability, that builds trust.
Right, and the source really hammers this point home. The practice of all these virtues needs to be consistent, not irregular. It uses this term lumpy, like poorly mixed dough, uneven.
Huh, lumpy. I can picture that.
Yeah. You don't want lumpy virtue. It contrasts it with consistent parenthood. You have to be there steadily. And it says this proper, non-lumpy consistency is what leads to real superiority, real effectiveness in whatever role you have. Consistent effort, not just big sporadic gestures.
Okay, so consistency ties it all together. It's crucial for all four pillars to really work.
Absolutely. That seems to be a core message. So stepping back, what's the big picture here? What's the overall impact if someone actually practices these four Sangahavatthu consistently?
Well, the first clear outcome mentioned is profound respect. Parents get respect from kids, sure, but also people gain this kind of elder or superior status in their community or role. Like a monk becomes a respected elder among other monks. It's recognized.
And it's not just within one group, is it?
No, that's a fascinating part. The claim is these principles are universally respected. Doesn't matter the religion, culture, language. If you practice Sanghavatha, you earn respect globally.
That's a bold claim, but you can kind of see why, can't you? Generosity, kind and useful speech, helpful actions, consistency. These are pretty universally valued traits.
Yeah, they are. The source even says that not having Sanghavathu is like lacking fundamental human virtue.
Wow, that's strong.
It is. And conversely, practicing them leads you to become righteous, to naturally steer clear of, bad influences or bad company. It shapes your character.
And there's something about resources, too.
Right. Another powerful implication. Because you practice these, resources just appear when needed. Tasks get done, even huge ones, nothing's left incomplete. It's almost like the practice itself creates the conditions for success.
Like attracting support because you are supportive.
Exactly. Which brings us back full circle to that alms donor story and why monks called donors yom.
Which means father or mother.
Yeah. It's because the donors embody Sangahavatthu, especially the giving, dana, and the useful conduct, Attacariya. They are seen as providing that essential parent-like support to the community. It's a title of deep respect earned through practice.
That's a beautiful way to frame it. It really highlights that reciprocal nature, giving support, receiving respect, and enabling more support. A virtuous cycle.
Definitely. So just to quickly recap the four, we have dana, generosity.
Peyyavajja, kindly and useful speech.
Attacariya, useful conduct, being a good example.
And Samanattata, consistency and equanimity in practice.
And together, these four act like that essential wedge in the vehicle, right? Keeping things harmonious, functional, earning respect, creating positive influence, whatever you are.
Yeah. And the source suggests that practicing these isn't just about, external success or getting people to like you. It's about fulfilling your potential as a human being.
Fulfilling your potential? How so?
Well, it implies this practice is actually the main target of the doctrine. That by living these principles, it's like you're living as if the Buddha himself were still here teaching directly. It connects you to that core wisdom.
That's a profound thought. So maybe something for you listening to think about. What if you consciously tried to integrate just one of these pillars more fully into your daily life? Say, focusing on more useful speech, or more consistent generosity, or being a better role model through your actions.
Yeah, just pick one. How might your relationships start to shift? Your sense of influence, maybe even just your own internal feeling of, well-being. What would it actually look like for you right now to embody even one of these ancient pillars of reciprocal support in our very modern world?